Did One for All make Deku dumber? I mean, think about it. When he first met Izuku in My Hero Academia, he spent the majority of his time analyzing quirks from both heroes and villains alike. Yet at the same time, it took him multiple months after receiving One for All to realize that he could kick instead of punch. Something just doesn't add up here. So of course, I'm over exaggerating. I highly doubt that the One for All quirk actually made Izuku Midoriya dumber. Instead, I really want to focus on how Deku moved away from his character origins, and his analysis abilities is more of a gimmick rather than a powerful tool in his arsenal. Also, I do want to dive in just briefly into how his battle strategy is Detroit Smash go burr instead of any kind of thoughtful maneuvers. I want to start off with one of the biggest memes in My Hero Academia, which was Deku now realizing that he has legs. Okay, I'll give him a little bit of a break, not actually realizing that he could kick instead of punch during the actual series, considering he was trying to catch up to so many of his classmates in terms of power and just getting used to his quirk, so him just blinking on that makes complete sense. But over all the years that Deku idolized All Might, not once did he somehow think, wow, All Might would be so much stronger if he used his legs and punched. Or what would a Detroit Smash look like if All Might kicked instead of punched? Like, the fact that never came to Deku's mind once over all the time he spent watching clips, or even analyzing them, I'm sure, just doesn't seem believable to me, is what really throws me for a loop here. Because to most, it seems like an easy conclusion that, oh, if someone's super strong and punches really well, if they kick too, that'd be even better. So that's a big blank for me. But on the other end of Deku's ability to pick up new moves, we see the moment that Deku is learning his Air Force move, or pretty much where he's able to use Detroit Smash from a distance. He's able to easily figure out the concept and logistics behind the range attack before All Might even gets halfway through his explanation. It shows how quickly he's able to analyze the limitations of a quirk, plus his in-depth knowledge of how All Might used his quirk. Where was this in learning full cowling? Deku's analysis skills are only really brought up when they help move a plot point along, or to explain something to an audience, or as a punchline. So let's talk about the mumbling. At the same time we learned about Deku's interesting quirk analysis, we also learned about his habit to mumble when doing said analysis. Don't get me wrong, I think this is a great bit and laughed so many times at this, but to me it's also a huge point of emphasis of where Deku can not only be a punchline with this murmuring, but also focusing on how smart Deku is when it comes to quirk analysis. Not once has Deku's mumbling ever led to something useful. Why not? While he may be going down a rabbit hole, this is on-the-spot quirk analysis that is generally about how a quirk could be used better or differently. You tell me that not one bit of information spewing out of his mouth is useful? I find that incredibly hard to believe, and I wish that at least once they do that very common trope of saying, wait, what did he just say? And it turns out to be a great development for a character's quirk or strategies or something like that. I feel like there's so much you can do with the mumbling of making it a great gimmick, but also something very useful for helping Deku develop into a better fighter, or even allowing his classmates to develop as well. Let's actually talk about how Deku fights and his strategies, pretty much just how Deku approaches battle in the series overall. In Season 1, during the attack on USJ, we see what I believe is one of the peak analysis moments for Deku throughout the whole series. While in the water rescue area, he figures out the best strategy to overcome the villains in a matter of minutes by analyzing his quirks, his classmates' quirks, the villain's quirk, and the environment that he was in with pretty much ease. It seems like it does not take him very long to figure this out, even while his classmates are freaking out around him. Since that moment, I felt like we moved farther and farther away from overcoming issues with strategy and instead just using brute strength. The solution to beating Overhaul? Using Eerie as a backpack and going 100%. The solution to overcoming both villains in the movies? A bigger smash and just doubling One for All. The solution to Muscular? Again, just a bigger smash. Right now, it feels as if Deku would just run straight at Shigaraki and try to Detroit smash his ass into space. While this is a valid option and would be very fun to see, it would be far from the best way to defeat a villain that could disintegrate him within seconds, but it really feels like how Deku approaches battles rather than thinking it out. We still do see some flashes of brilliance in moments such as the first round of the hero licensing exam and the battle against Gentle Criminal, but it still doesn't feel like the incredibly intelligent and strategic character that Deku was set up to be is really being used, and instead it is just focusing on how can Deku hit harder. I trust Horikoshi with Deku and My Hero Academia series immensely, and I'm by no means saying that I could write a story better or even make better characters. What I'm trying to get at is that there is so much potential that we saw in Deku early on in the series with his analytical skills that are just missed or aren't being taken advantage of. If you look at a handful of the most popular fanfics out there from My Hero Academia, a lot of them generally cover the situation of what if Izuku never got One for All. In most of these stories, he generally goes on to focus on some sort of analytics, hero support, or something emphasizing his intelligence and how much he analyzed quirks growing up. I'm clearly not the only one that saw the side of him early on in the series, and would love for it to be introduced more into the series as the fights continue to escalate, and it's not going to be as much brute force versus brute force, but obviously coming down to these bigger, longer drawn out strategic battles of who can outthink the others, instead of if Deku can throw a United States of the World smash or something along that line. While I do love the Super Saiyan moments for Deku and all these amazing scenes where he does go plus ultra and puts out that bigger smash, I would also love to see Deku blow all this away by surprising even us with how he ends up beating a villain. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and let me know if you agree with this thought process. Do you agree that Deku could have better ways to overcome villains, or do you even have ideas of how they could have overcome villains such as Overhaul? Or do you think, hey, no, I just want more smashes, that's what I come to My Hero Academia for? So I would love to hear your input on what you think of how Deku approaches this, if you think we are missing out on the analytical side, or if you love where Deku is as a character right now, because I'm sure it is very split. But also make sure to check out all of our other My Hero Academia content over on the Class 1A channel. We do anime recap, lore videos, theory videos, and all kinds of more all around My Hero Academia, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.